Welcome back to the Griffin's Nest, folks. Wow, is this super cheery for what we're about to get into, I suppose, if you've been following along. I've been thinking to myself that I haven't quite been, enjoying or sharing the music of the holiday season quite so much. I've been way too busy. But today, as the sun comes out with nearly a week here in Atlanta, Georgia, of rain and cloudiness, I decided it's time to show some snowiness. And I am way too leany, basically. I have brought Rocky back into my lap again. And as you can see, I've put a couple other things to kind of get the coziness going. Oh, cozy dog here. Poor guy. He's like, what the heck's going on? Cozy howling wolves in the snow. Oh, love it. And the snow. I like looking at it. I don't like touching it or playing with it. It's actually... I like watching the children's reactions, especially if it's their first time feeling something so cold as ice and snow, but it's my least favorite activity. I hate to say that when it comes to preschool projects and the such. But let's shift gears and get back to discussion of what we're getting into. And that is the next chapter of Hocus Pocus 2. I hope you are all staying safe out there. Just a quick real life tidbit. There has been a concern of rise in cases of COVID. And the more people travel, the more exposed and hike of numbers there are suspected to be. Whether you believe one side or another, I just hope that you're staying as safe as humanly possible for yourself. And I'm doing the same. I've had some offers of going out and working today, and not only do I need to get some schoolwork to get caught up done, but well, that's pretty much it. I gotta do that. So I'm staying home, and here I am sharing part of my morning with you. And I hope you're ready for the next chapter of the book, which is Come Little Children, on down by the bay. I am stoked with my Blue Ice G Fuel drink, courtesy of Gaming Art 88. Thank you, buddy, for the sampler pack. And I would show you the packet, but someone, Fireface, decided to sit on it. Oh, it's not here. She's, Fireface is sitting here on the table. Come here. Come here. Wow. Okay, I will give you your 5 seconds of fame. Alright, she's really enjoying just, hogging this space. That was supposed to be my book spot and such. But I guess it's over here being like, I guess I'll just, be here. Be in a book. Where's the packet? Where's the packet? Did I throw it away? I did not throw it away. She's like, yeah, you did. Did you eat it? I ate it, yeah. It tasted bluey. Oh, don't say it tasted bluey. You don't want to eat that, dog. Leave Bluey alone. Cartoon joke. Okay, Bluey. As you guys might recall, I love my Bluey costume, and I love Bluey the TV show. No, here it is, underneath my phone. If you have not checked out Blue Fuel, I highly recommend it. This is the blue rice rendition. It is super yummy. Little bit of an Arctic chill to the taste. Tastes best when it's cold. This is like almost room temperature, but giving me the energy I need to read this story to you. Clear my mind and my heart and stuff like that. Alrighty, let's see. Get all my ad thing ready going. If you are not a subber, you do not have to worry about that. And let's see what else is new while we wait for that to run through the ad hashtag for the kids. Let's see what is new. Well, yesterday I was able to get a task done and completed. I submitted one to just need a little bit of revision, a little bit of elaboration. And it was perfectly good. I was about to go to bed last night, and I got a notification saying your task has been accepted. With Western Governors University, it's either pass or don't pass. Like, it's either an A or it's not an A. And it's perfect. I actually rather like that. You either met the assignment or you didn't. I may very well... Sorry, guys. Let me... Hashtag one woman show. I may very well keep that in mind in the event that I should have children that I have to homeschool. And if you're wondering my opinion on the approach with homeschool, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. Just make sure that the students are meeting the expectations. That's it. Sometimes they might need to re-go over, slow their minds down, and really read the instructions, or revisit the math formula and such. But really, don't overdo it. You're just gonna make a bigger headache for yourself and for them. And also, I love the idea of homeschool pods. If you're not familiar with that term, I don't know if it's just in America, but it's not even that well known. People kind of look at me kind of funny when I mention it, but I don't think it's caught on yet. But pods is when you have people in a neighborhood and they've brought their children together that are of the same age range is or class range, and they all meet up at like one house at a time, and they kind of have homeschool in there as a group, small group. And sometimes they hire a professional, like a homeschool teacher or a tutor, if you will, to come and guide a lesson. And that's what I mean by homeschool pod. I like that idea. Gives them the best of both worlds, if you ask me. The protection of the home, and also the ability to transform your home into a learning environment with classmates. I almost said friends, but I know that even in a professional school setting, that's still a process to make friends. I mean, even as adults, we can't always be friends with all of our coworkers, can we? That speaking of which, speaking of which, that's what just happened in the book. The last chapter, we had the principal, the team, Travis, Isabella, and Poppy tried to talk to the principal, and he turned them down. He knows what's going on. He believes them, but he doesn't want any part of it to do with it because of a grudge. And honestly, the more I heard his explanation, the more I really started to understand. But this is the safety of the entire town involved. He's still being rather selfish. I hope that the fact that his daughter, Katie Taylor, gets stepping forward and being brave and doing what she's got to do by giving them a ride, and I don't know how else she's going to get involved, just getting involved doing her part. I hope that rubs off on him. I bet it will. In most cases, that is the sign of a good parent and relationship. So, and Katie and her father. Oh, what's his? I'm sitting here blanking on his name. Principal Taylor. What was his first name? Dang it, I'm blanking right now. But anyway, they seem to have a little bit of a wedge between them two, so they got to figure something out. All right, let's continue. We have a picture here. Come, little children, down on the bay. Welcome to Winter Island. We don't have too terribly far to go in this chapter. A good little number, but not too long. We are starting on page 383 if you're joining in the book, and then we will make our way over to page 404. All right. I'm looking at the next chapter after that, and I'm thinking maybe I'm going to try to do another segment today, so no promises, but I'll try. Let's continue. Come, little children, down on the bay. As Katie's car pulls up onto the street, it's quiet except for the whir of the heater. Zombie kids fill the street, and Katie tensely maneuvers around them. So, if I drive you to Winter Island, you'll help Jenny get back to normal? Asks Katie. Right, says Travis. Why do you want to get to Winter Island anyway? Talk about random, says Katie. There's something we need to find to break the spell, I say. Spell? Okay, you need to explain more about that, she says. Does this have anything to do with your family's bogus Sanderson sister story? Is this all some kind of sick payback? No, and you can start by telling us what happened to Jenny. Way to redirect the conversation. Fine. After your lame party, I went to Jenny's for a while, but she got a call from Bella Richards, says Katie over her shoulder. Isabella let out an indignant yip. Hey, she starts. I lean in and whisper to her, maybe keep the talking dog stuff on the DL for now. One bombshell at a time. Then I shoot Katie an apologetic look in the rearview mirror reflection. Katie glances back towards Isabella, frowning. She seems to shake it off, though. Now, how is that not proof for you? You just heard a dog talking. Whatever. I got a call from Bella, too. But, I mean, who talks on phones anymore? Oh, wait, excuse me. Wrong person talking. I got a call from Bella, too. But, I mean, who talks on phones anymore? Katie continues. Anyway, Bella must be as much of a freak as your parents, because everyone started acting weird when they talked to her on the phone. I clenched my jaw hearing her call Isabella a freak, but take a deep breath. Calming breath. Oh, excuse me. That was weird. I thought it was a prank too. Katie continues. Then Janie went off on the rails, mumbling about finding a stone in a spell book, and I knew she couldn't be joking. Katie gestures out the window. A group of boys dressed as superheroes in red spandex and black boots have broken out shovels and started digging in someone's flower garden. Man, they're really talk about a neighborhood search party. So, you know how to fix this? Says Katie. Then what? Then that means you do have something to do with this, don't you, Dennison? I want answers, or you're back on the street fast and you could say witch hunt. What? No, I say. This wasn't me. Then I remember that I am technically the one who summoned the Sanders sisters back. So I am, at least in part, responsible for this. Whatever it is. You're two of the only people in our class who are still normal, she says. Well, normal for you, anyway. That's more than a little suspicious. I'll admit that she has a point there. If I'm right and you're behind all this, you're the only one who can tell me what the hell is going on and help me get Jenny back. She seems more rattled than I've ever seen her. Her tone is as flat and irritated as it always is, but she's white-knuckling the steering wheel and it's clear that she's a long way from nonchalant. I should probably dial up the nervousness from Katie a bit then. You really care about Jenny, says Travis. How heartless do you think I am? Katie retorts. At the speed we're driving, we leave town behind within minutes and hit the open road of the narrow, wooded Salem Neck. Katie turns on her high beams as we streak through a grove of trees that totally obscures the moon. A power line runs along the road on the driver's side. I watch the moon through the windshield. Its reflection stretches over the hood of the car. Isabella is curled up on the seat next to me, head up and looking out the window. I can't get what Principal Taylor said out of my mind. How could my dad have done that to him? And how could he have never told me, especially during all his talks about looking out for others and being a good person? Does your dad ever talk about my dad? I ask Katie. She purses her lips, then shrugs. My dad doesn't really talk, she says. Oh, I thought that was just a school thing, I said quietly. It's cool, she says, but I can tell she's lying. She pauses, then adds, We were close when I was a kid. He'd bring me up here, and I'd swim in South Channel or Cat Cove while he worked on the lighthouse. Taught me how to fish and how to boat. She shrugs again. But he's, really paranoid, especially around Halloween, she adds. I think of how my parents shared everything with me and how Katie's dad kept his run-in with the Sandersons a complete secret. He won't tell me why, but I'm not blind. It has something to do with your family, Poppy, she says. I keep quiet. I heard your story about the Sandersons and your family earlier today told at Allegra's, and it's totally ridiculous, but when I was younger, my dad used to shut down any talk of the Sandersons. I'm starting to think that wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't, I say. Your dad was there. He saw the same things, and his story, too. He just hasn't told it. Great, so both of our families share the same strange story. Katie pauses like she wants to come up with a good zinger, but then says, Sorry. Sorry I was such a jerk about that. I lock eyes with her in the rear view, eyebrows raised. I don't think I've ever heard those words, or anything close to them, escape Katie Taylor's mouth. Katie Taylor's? It's all good. I say, and I mean it. So, what? The witches are back? Katie asks sincerely. Yes, I say. And we have to stop them? Katie asks. Bingo, I say. Katie slows as the night sky breaks through the trees more easily. Hey, says Travis suddenly, there's a spell in here that to send evil spirits back to hell. I look to my left and find Winifred's spell book. Oh dear, Travis, don't do this. Winifred's spell book in Travis's lap. He's looking at the page with intricate letters spelling out Gates of Hell. There's a sketch of a gaping pit filled with fire and smoke. He flips to the next page. On one side is a spell to reveal and destroy a succubus. And on the other, a charm for flavoring newt livers. A shaft of warm yellow light hovers above the pages as he continues to flip, revealing more spells, with names like Spells to Resurrect the Dead and Magician's Pact and Excruciating Punishments. Don't open that, I shout. Travis shuts the book with a bang. That wasn't a bang. Katie jumps, punching the brakes. What the hell are you doing back there? She says, looking at Travis in the rearview mirror. Nothing, Travis and I shout in unison. Ahead of us, the road is blocked by a low metal gate secured with a chain and a padlock. The gate is a little more than a triangle outlined with aluminum pipes, so it'll be easier to climb. We're here, says Katie. She throws the car into park, kills the engine, and gets out. Isabella and I both turn to glare at Travis. Do you remember zero of my family's story? I whisper to him. Or what Isabella told us, adds Isabella. Or what Elizabeth told us, adds Isabella. Until 45 minutes ago, their story was fake, remember? Travis whispers. That thing can call the Sandersons when it's open, I say. Yeah, Poppy's right. It'll betray us for the first chance it gets, says Isabella. So whatever you do, I tell Travis, don't open it again. I'm starting to think that, actually, I know pretty much at this point, the book's kind of got like this alluring thing going on to where it's like kind of tempting you to open it. But also, who would give up the chance to look into a book to try to help them in this kind of situation, or any situation with their lives in general, you know? Not excusing Travis's actions. I just hope it doesn't really backfire later. Excuse me, let me take a drink. Get G fueled up, G. All right. He rests it on his lap. Don't open it again, he parrots. One accidental spell and Sandy Sanderson over here thinks she's head of the witch in charge. He looks back up at me, flashing a smile to show he's joking. I sigh loudly, giving him a sidelong smile, and open my door to let Isabella hop out. Katie is standing a few feet away, arms crossed over her chest as she surveys the poorly lit greenery of the park ahead of us. Okay, now what? She says grumpily. There are a few more sporadically placed street lights that look like they haven't been updated since my parents were hunting witches. The lighthouse is a darker smudge right on the water, maybe a mile away, but its light isn't on. It's mostly just a historic monument now, I guess. I can't imagine what it looked like back here when Elizabeth was alive. I try to picture her house and all the other homes, and I wonder where her husband would hide a moonstone. Right, we gotta start getting our heads into what her husband might have been thinking back then. Do you have any ideas? I'm glad the Sanderson search party hasn't arrived here yet, says Travis. That's comforting, I say sarcastically. So, what are we looking for again? Katie asks. And you're sure whatever it is will fix whatever's going on with Jenny and the rest of the town? Yes, I say, hoping it's true and hoping against all odds that it's even still here. We're looking for a rock, says Travis, climbing out of his side of the car. Katie looks over her shoulder and at him. Are you kidding me? A magical rock, he clarifies. Shh. Jesus, she says, staring down at the gate. Remind me why I agreed to help you guys. Not one of my most favorite things to do, even when reading, but I'm gonna have to get used to that if I'm gonna be reading books in the future. Uh, yeah, never mind. Let's keep it going. Because you want to get your BFF back, Travis points out. That shuts her up. The three of us climb over the gate, and Isabella squeezes through it. There's a small building in front of us, the booth where the park ranger usually sits and accepts payment for parking, but it's dark and deserted at this time of night. Travis enters it and returns with a shovel. Score, he says. How old is it? Katie asks us. I give her a confused look. That's a good point. Oh, the magical rock you're looking for? She says, using a tone that suggests she'll abandon me on Winter Island if I can't keep up. Old, says that Travis, like buried 300 years old, age. Buried 300 years ago, old. She pauses to process this new information, then starts walking again. If it's from the 1700s, it's probably buried here, in the middle of the green. The lighthouse was built in the late 1800s, and they ripped up a lot of the old buildings on the island when they turned it into a park in the 90s. Oh, so during the 90s it was. Wow, they didn't mention anything about it in the first book/movie, huh? It's like exploring whole new territory, really. I love it. She's practically Principal Taylor 2.0 and a fountain of lighthouse facts to boot. Perfect. Where's your new BFF gone to? Katie asks me. She hasn't realized yet. As if on cue, Isabella runs beside her and heels. Well, about that, I say, trying to think of what to do. So curious what they're about to do. You okay, Rocky? You doing okay? I think I'm gonna offer him to lay down on his bed for a bit. It's like right in front of me, and it's probably heated up nice and warm and toasty now. Here you go, boy. Here you go. And he hates it. Okay, well, he could use some more exercise anyway. Alright. Huh. I was trying to remember where we were. Oh my goodness. Uh. I forgot where my spot was. I'd forgotten I'd even turned the page, so sorry about the delay. You know, Bella used to be my best friend. Or used to be my friend, Katie says. Like, when we were 10, she adds, clearly expecting us to be skeptical. Back when she actually still wanted people to call her Bella, she sighs. I don't blame you if you don't remember. Me or that nickname. Sometimes I don't think Isabella does either. I wonder why they stopped being friends. What happened? Travis asks, as if reading my mind. Katie shrugs. She was nice, and she was busy. Future SCOTUS clerk and all that. Scottish? That's what it says. Capital letters, too. I guess we just took off two different paths. She's always defended me, though. Even after we got to high school and people realized the principal was my dad. She wouldn't sit with me at lunch, but she never let anyone call me Tattletale Taylor without giving them a piece of her mind. She looks at me. I'm surprised she's not here now. You're her new charity case, aren't you? Oh, Lord, man, she has jealousy written all over her, doesn't she? The insult feels phoned in, even for Katie, but it still hurts. I shrug and shove my hands into my pockets of my jeans. So much for playing nice. Isabella heads back to me and whispers, I guess this would be a bad time to chime in? I nod. Fine, let me see if I can sniff out this blood moonstone. Whew, good way to keep yourself distracted. I'd be tempted to say something. Isabella puts her nose to the ground and weaves among us. We all keep walking, returning to the head of the loop, where a thicket of bushes separates the road and the field. Finally, Isabella leaves the road and sniffs among the foliage, vanishing into the ferns. I never knew you had a dog, Poppy, says Katie. So is he like one of those truffle finding pigs? She asks, jerking her chin in the bushes. I shrug, though it's a better explanation than I could have made up. She, actually, I say. Oh, okay, says Katie. So is she like one of those? A bolt of yellow lightning forks through the air, making contact with something beyond the light of bushes, separating the road from the small field beyond it. My stomach lurches. Isabella! I race toward the side of the lightning strike with Travis by my side. You named your dog after Isabella Richards? Katie asks, jogging to keep up. I shove my way through the bushes, which scratch at my legs and arms, and enter a grassy field to find a park bench, a few trees, and a clear view of the dark, vast ocean far below. I also find Isabella, who turns to me and wags her stumpy tail. Thank God she's okay. As for the patch of earth in front of Isabella, it's charred and smoky. Smoking. Hello? Alright, pardon me, just checking on Rocky. You okay, buddy? Yeah. I love you. Alrighty. Whew. Sorry, Isabella says. I started feeling weird, like the air had too much static. But I didn't know that would happen. But I think this is exactly where we should dig. She runs into a circle around the sharded earth. Or the shard earth. What, did lightning just show us where X marks the spot? I ask, flabbergasted. I'm not asking questions, says Travis, starting to dig. I wish excuse me. I wish Elizabeth were here to shed some light on what just happened, says Isabella. Katie looks around. Bella, where are you? Bella, she corrects. Katie eyes the dog. Very funny, she says. Ventriloquist much? Not so much, says Isabella. This time Katie sees her mouth move. Katie stumbles backward, her eyes widening. No, she breathes. No, 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 no. I take pity and walk over to steady her before she falls over from shock. There's a bench nearby, so I steer her over to it and help her sit down. Isabella follows us. Okay, what the hell is going on? Katie points at Isabella, who backs away. Katie narrows her eyes at me. You owe me an explanation, Dennison. I think of Principal Taylor telling me he doesn't owe my family anything, and for a fleeting moment I imagine doing the same to Katie. But then I think of how that made me feel, and I know that she's right. I spill everything while Travis digs. I don't hesitate, even though Katie's expression moves from concerned to shocked to disbelieving right before my eyes. I even tell her about her father and mine, even though she admits she overheard everything I said to Isabella earlier at Allegra's. Was that the only just today? Well, for us, it was like months ago. Okay, maybe a month, 2 months? Anyway, let's continue. I continue to give my dad's side of the story and then her dad's side and explain why we went straight for her dad's house and why he turned us down. That would explain his paranoia, says Katie, shaking her head. Travis's shovel makes a solid thunk. Anything? I call to him. Just rocks and roots, he replies. Beside me, Katie puts her head in her hands and lets out a deep breath. Katie, I say slowly, I know it's a lot to take in. She looks up at me with wide, desperate eyes. This is unbelievable. I shake my head. It'll be okay, I tell her. They seem to be saying this a lot to each other in the book, and that's great. We will find this blood moonstone and destroy it, and I'll get my family back, and you'll get Jenny back, and Isabella won't have paws anymore. Katie bolts up on the bench. We're just a few hours away from daybreak, she cries out. We'll never make it. Her words hit me with more impact than I expect, and I feel sick. I've got nothing, Travis says and dumps out another shovelful of dirt. I know it would have made itself evident by now. But wouldn't it be funny if that bolt of lightning had actually destroyed the moonstone in the process? Maybe it's just slowly working its way off and, like, uh, they would be the last to be affected or something. And then, of course, that means, like, the rest of the story wouldn't happen. But, just saying. It was a long shot anyway. I mean, digging where lightning strikes isn't the most logical reasoning. He throws down the shovel and wipes his hands off his lab coat. So, who's hungry? That wasn't just any ordinary lightning. Isabella pads over and walks a wide circle around Travis in the hole he dug. She shakes as if trying to dispel water from her coat. It's happening again, she says. You should probably move. Travis climbs out of the hole and joins me and Katie near the bench. Oh, I didn't realize it was that deep, but it makes sense. Isabella narrows in, sniffing and wagging her tail as if her circle gets smaller and smaller, until her nose is pressed against the edge of the pit. She sniffs one last time, then comes to a complete stop and stares off toward the shore, a distant look coming over her face. Silence sweeps over us. The sound of crickets seeming to arise out of nowhere, and a slight breeze is cold on my skin. Then comes a rumbling crash and another bolt of yellow lightning. It's so bright and powerful that we all shriek and stumble backward, clutching one another. I told you to move, Isabella says. You didn't say how far, Travis grumbles in response. What's happening? Are you having some kind of witch allergy? I ask, but instead of sneezing, you're lightninging? Maybe, says Isabella. Your guess is as good as mine. She goes to the precise point where the lightning touched down, which is just an inch or two away from the hole Travis was working on. As she digs, dirt begins to fly everywhere, settling in a fine dust over her back. Woo! Isabella uses dig. It's super effective. Bad joke. Bad Pokemon joke. After a minute or so, Isabella stops and shakes hard. She turns to reveal a limp, disintegrating pouch and spits it out. Ugh, it tastes like death, she says. I get up, walk over to her, and pry the damp bag open. I reach in and pull out a porpoise red stone. I hold it up to the moon, letting the light stream around the edges. Yes, we found it. The blood moonstone, I cheer, holding it up high in my fist. The lightning actually worked, says Isabella. Yeah, what she said, exclaims Travis. Whatever, says Katie, approaching me. Now what do we do with it? We have to smash this thing. Stat, I say. Totally, says Isabella. But how? Later, or meanwhile, 3-star horizontal stars indicating. It's not working, Winifred exclaims, exasperated. She paces in front of the sitting room windows of the large house they had entered, but not a single soul scurries up with a blood moonstone or her precious spell book in their hands. Behind her is a fireplace, but the fire has long since died in the hearth, leaving a smell of burnt wood that Winifred finds strangely comforting. It reminds her of winter mornings spent eating hot raven's wing porridge, while Mother fussed over a bubbling cauldron. Mother, who will be reunited with her soon, she thinks fondly and hopefully. Nearby, Mary is inspecting the table of food along one wall. There's a bowl with lozenges wrapped in white paper and attached to paper sticks. Oh, lozenges, excuse me. The wrappings all have faces drawn on them, some of them uglier than others. Mary sniffs one, then tosses it back. Instead, she picks up a long, pale thing and nibbles. The sign says there are fingers of ladies, she tells no one in particular, but they taste like cake. She spits the stuff out onto one of the lozenge wrappers and returns the treat to its bowl. Yeah. Sarah sits at a table in the other room. She leans over the memory box and sings diligently into it. But Winifred knows it's only a matter of time before her sister tires of spreading her song from one person to the next, or more likely becomes distracted. A shiver of energy crackles through the air and over Winifred's tongue. She glances surreptitiously at Mary, who doesn't seem to notice anything is amiss. Instead, Mary is chewing something that looks like a brightly colored earthworm. A gummy worm, maybe? Mary might be a better at smelling children, but Winifred has always been better at sensing magic. Excuse me. That's why, she tells herself, she's the best suited to give directions. Sisters, Winifred cries, trying her best to contain her excitement. Sisters, there is magic in the air. Mary sniffs delicately. The magic smells like macaroons, she says. Or is it macarons? No, that smell is from thy sister's singing, dimwit. Winifred hurries up the stairs and about the upper floor until she finds a door on the ceiling that, when drawn down, leads up into the attic. She crosses the low, dusty room and onto one of the small windows and crouches there, hands clasped in her lap, and a grin like an overeager child spreading on her face. She waits patiently, and then she just waits. Whose house could they be in that has magic upstairs? Then Winifred feels something else, right there in the attic, so close to her. Her eyes comb over cardboard boxes and stacks of plastic bins, and she wonders what it could be. But then, as quickly as it came, the wavelength of magic dissipates, and she slouches and sighs, redirecting her sight back out of the window to try to pick up the energy she first detected. Winifred's confidence is beginning to lag when a second roll of distant thunder pulls her attention to that far coast in the distance. A bolt of yellow lightning springs out of the clear sky, a storm cloud forming and then dispersing as soon as its energy is spent. Excuse me. I might need to take an extended break soon. My throat is feeling weird. But I think I'll hold out. Oh, shoot, chapter's almost done. Shoot. Never mind, just wait until the end of the chapter. Let's see. A bolt of yellow lightning springs out of the clear sky, a storm cloud forming and then dispersing as soon as its energy is spent. The girl, she says, pushing away from the window and hurrying back downstairs. The feral flea-bitten mutt has found it for us. Sarah looks up from the memory box on the table, blue eyes hopeful. May I stop? She asks sweetly. Yes, Poppet. A voice rises from the speaking box. Hello? Hello, Isabella, are you... Sarah presses a bony finger against the device and silences the voice. Winifred opens the front door of the house. Its yard is plain, unlike the houses nearby. In fact, the only mark of decoration is a small hand-painted sign beneath the porch light, which reads, The Denizens. Ah, I knew it. They're at the Denizens' house. Now, how'd they find it? Book! Winifred calls as one would call for a dog or a particularly doltish spouse. Book! Nothing happens. Book! Come to Mummy, now! Mary comes out behind her, clinging to the door frame. They've still got it, Winnie, remember? She says timidly. Of course I remember, Winifred shouts. Then she softens, looking out into the dark, cruel world that has stolen her poor book. Those blasted children are keeping it from me. What gives them any right? Well, Mary says, with a little more confidence than before, the girl is our great. Silence! The look Winifred gives her could melt gold. That meddling creature is no relative of mine, Winifred says. No more than, well, Elizabeth. She retches at saying her name. That is not really for thou to decide, though, is it? Asks Mary. Winifred huffs and hustles back inside. She makes me ashamed to be a Sanderson. The girl did The girl did find the stone before thee, says Mary, cowering as she said it. This time Winifred turns very, very slowly on one heel to face her sister. I do not need reminding, she hisses. Sarah! She turns quickly, then, becoming more herself. Sarah, dear, please do your little song again and have the children tell us where that dog and my book and my... She pauses and corrects herself with a straight gulp and forced smile. Our stone has gone. But thou said I was finished. Sarah, wait, she whines. Okay. But thou said I was finished. Sarah whines, rubbing her neck. And now I say thou art, Winifred says. Mary, find us something on which to fly. She eyes the shining chandeliers and polished mantle, top lip curling in distaste. There must be a broom somewhere in this hideous place. Yes, Winnie. Mary bows and ambles into the next room. Sarah coughs and swallows, wishing she had a pint of scorpion juice for a dry mouth. Cadaver, 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 she sing-songs, correcting her pitch and relaxing her lips and tongue. Bloody bones, bloody bones, bloody bones. Satisfied, she presses the button, clicks the next name on the list, and waits patiently as the speaker box casts its spell. It makes a soft chiming sound, then pauses and repeats the noise. Hello? Says a voice, sounding somewhat dazed. Hello? Says Sarah brightly, and then she begins to sing. Come, little children, on down to the bay. Winifred smiles with satisfaction and turns away from her sister. She goes over to the buffet table, picks up one of the ladyfingers Mary discarded, and takes a tentative bite. Cake indeed, Winifred says, spitting the wretched thing out on the floor. Now what the heck is up with them? I actually rather like ladyfingers. Odd name, but if they're done right, they're pretty darn tasty. And that is the end of that chapter. Next chapter is rather short, which is hashtag spell on you, starting from page 404. It's only 20 pages long. And it would end at 424. Let me check this out. I may be able to treat us to a 2-chapter. It would still be a long session. I'm gonna consider it, but perhaps no. We'll keep it divided. I'm trying to debate whether to pick up like an extra chapter next time we tune in, and I'm hoping we can do it tomorrow. So if not later on today, tune in next time for hashtag spell on you, and we'll continue from there. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to host somebody really cool, and remember these sessions are always for the children. If you can give anything at this time, even a couple of dollars would help a child in need, and it all goes straight towards Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Whether you're donating on the page or subscribing here on Twitch or whatever, we are truly, truly grateful. Thank you for your time and reading with me, and I will see you next time here on the Griffin's Nest. Bye 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 bye.